while you're talking, take out the word apology and how about accountability?
Well, accountability, yeah. Yeah, accountability. You definitely, but see, but that's the thing about being a man or being, able to stand on what you believe in. Yeah, you definitely should do that. If you said it and you got to stand by it. So then that begs to the point: why would you need to apologize if that's how you really feel? You stand on it. You know what I mean?
Right, right. No, that I think that's why because I think great point, and I think that's what you guys said earlier. And I think I'm remiss because I think I said the word apology, but I think it was more the comparison that I had with Kyrie and Jerry Jones was the accountability of it. Like
Yeah,
Kyrie
they
was
do
going to
hold us to a different
get
standard.
accountability, and he got a lot of accountability for it. I don't feel Jerry has taken accountability, whether or not he's with it or not with it. To your point, I don't think he'll. You're right. Maybe he doesn't owe any of us an apology about that, unless he true. Definitely, if he don't mean it, or it's not how he really believes. But the accountability, and that's kind of where I really wanted the conversation to go. Kyrie had this accountability. Brett Favre, I haven't heard of any accountability for him. Jerry Jones, again, I know he was 14 years old, but the accountability of, standing on, yes, this is what I believe in or whatever. What does that accountability look? And who gives him the accountability? When you're the owner, when you're the person that, writes the checks and does that, where does that accountability come from? Now, I have an opinion that I think it should come from the people who pays his checks. Because
welcome to the talk show. Where we're kicking it and having fun on inspirational radio.
LeBron James and Jerry Jones have been, over the last couple of days, definitely a big part of what we've been seeing. And I want to give people a background, regarding this story, so that we can, have a place to have this conversation. So, for our audience, definitely for Dion when he gets on this, because he's gonna want to talk about this. He's one of my cowboy buddies, my friends. So I know he has some insight and some input that he wants to share with us. That's why we're working so hard to get him set up. But so insight, right? A couple of weeks ago, probably about 2 shows ago, we talked about Irving, Hebrew Israelite situation. Talked about mainly, how the church should respond to it. What does that mean for the church? We talked about the punishment. Was it a little extreme? And part of what we talked about is some of the inconsistency that we see when it comes to people of color, Black people doing something that might be deemed kind of socially incorrect or wrong. Kyrie had to go through a whole lot to actually get back to doing playing basketball or doing his job. Well, probably about a week later, Jerry Jones had an interview with the Washington Post, and that article came out, and it came out with a picture of Jerry Jones and a group of young men, and this was during the time of segregation. I believe he was 14 years old. Have the picture here. I'm posted. Jerry Jones is the young man that's kind of circled in that group right now, and in this picture, you can see that they were trying to keep Black people from entering their school, and of course, there was a lot of questions about that. A lot of things popped up with that. The article that this was written for was basically saying that Jerry Jones helped change the course of football, how football is actually, how we do football, the business of football. But it was actually challenging him on the fact that in places of leadership on the Cowboy franchise, we didn't have a lot of representation there, right? And so, with all the Colin Kaepernick stuff and Black Lives Matter, either silence or saying things that didn't really align with with supporting the Black community. All right. So, fast forward to today. And again, keep in mind, that was probably about a week ago that article came out. I know I saw it posted on the news probably for a day or two, a couple of conversations about it. But, it kind of, went away, and there was no type of, I would say, apology. There was definitely, I think he maybe expressed, I would say maybe a little bit of the fact that it was, him back in the day and it shouldn't be held against him, but not necessarily a stance on one way or another on the right or wrong of that situation. And so LeBron James, I have a snippet from a video that LeBron posted after, or had with some media people after one of his games. And so I want to play that, and from that standpoint, I want to talk about this Jerry Jones situation, and kind of touch on some of the things we've talked about on some of our previous shows. Should there be some punishment involved with this? Should there be more accountability involved with this situation? Is it something that is do we see fair? Is it a completely different situation?
Before you guys leave, I was thinking when I was on my way over here, I was wondering why I haven't gotten a question from you guys about the Jerry Jones photo. But when the Kyrie thing was going on, you guys were quick to ask us questions about that.
Okay.
Hold on. And I don't even want you guys to say nothing. When I watched Kyrie talk and he says, I know who I am, but I want to keep the same energy when we're talking about my people and the things that we've been through. And that Jerry Jones photo is one of those moments that our people, Black people, have been through in America. And I feel like as a Black man, as a Black athlete, as someone with power and a platform, when we do something wrong or something that people don't agree with, it's on every single tabloid, every single news coverage. It's on the bottom ticker. It's asked about every single day. But it seems like to me that the whole Jerry Jones situation photo, and I know it was years and years ago and we all make mistakes, I get it. But it seemed like it's just been buried under like, oh, it happened. Okay, we just move on. And I was just kind of disappointed that I haven't received that question from you guys. Appreciate it.
My thoughts are, we always have, I don't know, I can't speak for the future, I don't know if we always will, but it's a difference between when you have browner skin and lighter skin. If you do something, the media bring it up, let it go, brush it under the rug, whatever. And not saying that they should, drag it on and on. That's not my point. But my point is, if we do something, we get drugged for it for weeks and months at a time, when if you're another race and you get something done that's considered atrocious, even if you were young, you get one question, you let it go. You don't even have to make an apology. You don't even have to, oh, I was young. And that's it. And what I'm saying is, treat me the same way. Show me the same courtesy that you show to other people, and not have me in the media all day and night perpetuating a certain narrative about people of color, trying to say, look at us and put the spotlight on us and keep the light on us and make us portray us a way that doesn't really represent who we really are. And then, because anybody can make a mistake, he sent out something, boom, boom, and you made a big deal out of it. He was really in a picture keeping black people away, and most of his teams are made up of black people. And what I'm saying is, why can't we just show the same courtesy that we extend to all races? We're not trying to get nothing extra. Just like, okay, he did something, let it go like you let Jerry's go. Let it go like you let other people's stuff go. Like the young man who got all the millions of dollars stolen, the football star, I think it was, his name just eluded me. And it's like, okay, that came up, okay, stole millions of dollars from some funding, and then that's over. And then when we do something,
Brett Favre.
And then it's weeks to see. That's why I couldn't even remember it. But I know Kyrie every day, every time we turn over. And that seemed like that's bigger news than what he did. But it's just like you want to emphasize on people of color to perpetuate a certain narrative, to keep that narrative going. They bad and we okay. Whatever we do, that's cool. We messed up. But so say the same thing for us. Okay, cool, we messed up. Let's move on. But we don't do that. And so that's what I think. The crime never fits our punishment. Like the punishment is much worse when you're a person of color than it is if you're not. And I just think just level the playing field. Quit focusing so much and perpetuating that. Everybody make a mistake. We saw that. They caught you. You stealing money. Okay, we caught you. You was pushing the black people out. Okay, if I let yours go, how come you can't let mine go? That's what I'm saying. Let's treat each other the same.
Yeah, and so they asked Dak Prescott, who's the quarterback for the Cowboys, the same question basically, I think. And I think he handled it really, really well. And what he said, and this is definitely something that I think applies to, us as Christians on how we should handle different things, but we need to understand how to give grace for each other. But to your point, that grace has to work both ways. And we struggle with that. We really, really do. Again, when Kyrie said what he said, like you said, apology, a sincere apology should have been enough. A sincere, hey, I don't agree with everything that was said in the movie. I do agree with some of the stuff that's, said in the movie, whatever. If I offended people, I apologize. And it probably should have been left at that if we're going to use the same grace that we're applying to, someone like Jerry Jones or Brett Favre, who, again, may have made a mistake. And, I think what concerns me most, and this is why I really, really wanted to kind of hear from Dion and get his thoughts. I want to talk to a Cowboy fan because, when it comes to Jerry, I was reading an article right before we got on this show,